Alright. So, guess what happened? For whatever reason, my recorder didn't pick up my microphone. Actually, it didn't even bother. The software didn't even bother to record my microphone. So I have to sit here and do post commentary. Oh, yay. It's not that I hate post commentary, it's just that when you do commentary what is essentially live commentary for a video, and then your video recording just says no. Like you really don't want to do post commentary. At least from my perspective. I don't know how other YouTubers get around that. Whatever. Anyway, Duel versus Alexis, and all I can say here is this Duel sucked. First off, this was unnecessary. I made things unnecessarily harder. Second, the deck that they gave Jaden for this, the story deck, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to play with Jaden's story deck because he now has Neos. Like, he now has Neospatian cards. So that should make things a lot more interesting. Wrong. The only, so we have the Neospatian cards in his deck. They're in there. But guess what? Nothing. All it really had was Flare Scarab, and so you could go Flare Neos, which, yeah, that's accurate to the episode, but oh my god, nothing worked. So then I tried to use snakes. I tried to use Venom Snakes. Amazing that Cold Wave can screw you over so much. And Cold Wave is an incredibly old card, older than GX. And this is like a card that so many people, especially like friends and whatnot, were saying like, don't put that into your deck, that card sucks. And that card totally sucks. You're not going to get anything from that card. It's not going to do anything. Don't ever put that into your deck. And here we have freaking the AI Alexis Rhodes playing that card, and it essentially screws you over. So I sat here trying my best to play with the Venom Snakes cards. Could not summon the big guys. I could get Venom Swamp out. I put Venom counters down. Could not get the big guys out, or really the headliners of the deck. Could not get those out because those require so much more effort to get like resummoned. And I don't know how that happened in the actual anime because I never saw that episode. That episode didn't air, at least for me. It probably did air in English, but you know what? All I can say is when I was trying to watch it, by the time it got around to that point, I never got to see that episode. I believe it got taken off the air by the time I got around to that point. Because I never saw GX again after that. I guess they either changed the time slot for it, but I never saw Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever again up until like 5D shows up, and I'm like, what the heck is this? What happened in GX? And let me tell you, having people explain to you what happens in GX is honest versus actually reading or watching about it is so vastly different from the descriptions that you're given. See, watch, Cold Wave. I literally can't do anything because Cold Wave is activated. So Cold Wave, when you activate it, your opponent cannot play or set any spell or trap spell. So I can't activate a thing for my entire turn. Like, I am just stuck. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I surrender. Let's go. Like, let me try this again. And I sat here for about 30, 40 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I'm done fooling. I'm gonna try something else. Let's try out Crystal Beast, which is what you're gonna see here. And I was kind of worried because I was like, I think I played this wrong, which I probably did. And somebody's gonna go, yeah, you played this totally wrong. But yeah, you should have played this instead. And yeah, you built your deck totally wrong. You should have built it like this. And they're probably gonna go like, oh yeah, like that's not viable anymore. Like you should have played this, and like those cards, the cards that they mentioned probably don't exist in this game because this is based on 2020, not 2021. So I'm just sitting there like, I don't know. Like, all I know is I'm supposed to get Crystal Beast out. I'm supposed to generally more or less get them killed, innocent in a way, and then I can bring out the big guy Rainbow Dragon. What ends up happening here is a much bigger surprise to me. I was like, oh, I had managed to get that out, but okay, you know what? Cool. And I just sat there figuring things out. You know what? This is cool. I'm alright with this. This stays. So that's my first time using a Crystal Beast, which honestly, I made this way more complicated than I should have. And since Alexis was just playing what is essentially water monsters, and more or less on a slow burn, I could have played Gladiator Beast again and just like, you know what? No, screw you, die. No. Like, because I could eventually ramp up my attack to where her only headliner card in the game is White Knight Dragon, who would not have any real effect. So I'll come back when this duel's over and I can bring up again. Enjoy the music, which, well, I guess I'll still be talking here today. I started off with Lythero's playlist, which is the playlist that he uses on his Twitch stream. I believe that was his playlist, but the only reason I picked that is because usually the songs that he has in that playlist will not trigger copyright, will not trigger content ID, because he usually manages that much. He's like, yeah, this usually doesn't trigger content ID. I can't remember when, but it kicked in. I can't remember when exactly it happened in the video, but I ended up coming across a few songs that were just like, this is totally content ID. In fact, I can see it here at the bottom, where the content ID claim has flown up. And I'm like, nope, I have to switch playlists. So I ended up switching to, so because I saw the word Sonic pop up, like, in the recommended, I ended up going to Sonic Riders playlist. Not the best playlist for this, but you know what? I don't care as long as I have some music that isn't this game's music. Like, this game's music is mediocre at best. I want Tag Force music back, to be honest. I want Tag Force back. Tag Force is so much effort. I guess, you know what? I'm not even going to like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to talk about something completely different than what my dueling is. So, let me tell you right now, this is going to take a minute because I'm sitting here on cards. I'm like, I can't play anything because my field is full. I'm literally waiting for Alexis to sit here and be like, just kill my monster, please. Like, just kill this so I can play something. And she's just like, no. Like, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just like, let me play. She does, like, she's doing nothing for so many turns. Like, I can't do it. I would attack her, but I just had this feeling like she was just gonna play something and be like, nah, I don't, like, no, thank you, and just deny me, because that seems to be a trait of the AI. What surprises me is that she's actually willing to go with multiple call to haunted. Now she finally does something like, oh my god. So here, now I finally get to bring out something big, but I have to like throw so many things in the graveyard. Which I was just like, okay, I mean, alright. I was like, okay. And yeah, Rainbow Overdragon. Which this thing is, you know, like, I believe this is an I win card. I was kind of afraid to play its effect because I didn't know how that thing would be. I didn't know if that included itself. Like the last bit of the effect where if I activated, like if I activated it, would that include itself going back? So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to be careful with that. And then something else I found out, like, oh, because Crystal Beasts are in my graveyard, I can special summon the other Rainbow Dragon. And you know, the real Rainbow Dragon. Like, yeah, I can, and it's a special summon, so why not? I haven't really completely read its effects, but I was just like, you know what? I have a 4,000 point monster on it. And I don't think I can be stopped at this moment. So I was like, since I have Rainbow Dragon summon, why not two? What was I gonna say? There's something about you. Oh yeah. Oh! Now I remember. Tag Force. Tag Force is so much better than what we have here. Tag Force is so much better. I mean, yeah, okay, the whole thing is about tag dueling, but you can do single duels. Like, single duels are not out of the question. In fact, I would honestly say pretty much any game that isn't like Legacy of the Duelist is so much better than Legacy of the Duelist. They actually put effort into that. I would say my favorite, it balances between Tag Force 6 and GX Duel Academy on the GBA. My problem, like, the only problem I have with Duel Academy on the GBA is that for whatever god-given reason, once Jinzo card was officially unlocked, everybody and their dog seemed to have Jinzo. Even if it didn't fit in with their deck, everyone seemed to have Jinzo. Which, that ruined a lot of the game. That ruined a lot of GX, but at the same time, it was fun to be like, hey, I get to be in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy as my own personal student, and actually get to participate in some of the actual anime events that happen. I thought that was fun. And Tag Force, while you did do mostly tag dueling, you also got, like, for the most part, and I only played Tag Force 6, I didn't play the others, you also got to see, like, pretty much a general summary of, like, that character's bits in the anime and what they had to go through. Because I remember Yusei having to deal with, like, basically every major, like, essentially every major villain in this story, and you ended up having to fight Zone. Oh, okay. Oh wait, we're coming to my favorite, CyberDarks. I do remember seeing this, and I loved. Like, I actually fell in love with CyberDark, and I was sitting there like, I wish I had these cards. I wish I had these cards. These seem incredibly good. And they are. I mean, like, you summon cards, like, you summon these cards that basically grab dragons out of the graveyard and be like, yeah, I have more power. Sleep mode. Why is it going into sleep mode when I'm actively doing something? So I said to myself, like, this is like, I like CyberDark, and I want to make a CyberDark deck because CyberDark are fun. Despite the whole thing of like, oh, they're evil cards and what. I was like, dude. And I questioned Cyrus's judgment on his moves here because he just played Power Bond. I was like, wait, Cyrus, you why did you play Power Bond? Stealth Roid is a good counter. Stealth Roid is a good counter for CyberDarks, but still, why did you play Power Bond? Hey, look, it's a ban card. Pot of Greed. I believe Pot of Greed's banned at this point. So yeah, like, I know the CyberDark in this game. What was I saying before? Oh, Tag Force. Like, Tag Force was so much fun, especially one thing that I do have to comment on. There were animations. There was so much more animations for not just cards, but also the duelists that were playing. The only duelist that didn't have animations was your player character, so which didn't make much sense, but still, that's so much better than Legacy of the Duelist. Legacy of the Duelist feels like in a lot of cases, feels a bit like a cheat. Feels like a cheat. Hey, we got all these cards together. Which, I mean, that's good in its own right, because you get to have all the cards up to whatever point the game was created. But at the same time, I would love to have... I feel like there's not really much of an excuse. I would love to have the animations on the cards, and I would love to have the animations on the duels. That would make this game so much better. Not to mention that the music in Tag Force was leagues beyond this game, which is why I muted the music to begin with, because music in this game is not that good. Honestly, in a lot of cases, to me, it's sleeping music. I think I needed my other CyberDark in order for me to do like any kind of fusion. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I never played with CyberDark before up until this point. But either way, I was still winning, and I was questioning why did Cyrus play Power Bond? Like, he kind of screwed himself with that and put himself in a bad position. And I was like, well, he does have more power than me, but I have Exploder Dragon, which just allows me to destroy your monster anyway, so goodbye. So, while I'm on this whole thing about like the game's better than this one, that just makes me think about about continuing this game or not. Because part of me kind of wants to go through the campaign, go through all the campaign bits, and that was a bit of a smart play, but at the same time, you had no backups. That was kind of a bit of a smart, like, yeah, I want to go through campaigns. At the same time, I don't, because a lot of this stuff, like, especially when it comes to reading a lot of this stuff, I'm just like, this would be better in anime form. I'm saying that, like, this would totally be better in anime form. instead of trying to read the description as to what happens and then get like get a visual novel. Get essentially the equivalent of a visual novel as to what's going on, and even like, and it's not entirely accurate as to how things played out, especially with the game itself skipping the duels. Like, this game skips a lot of the good duels in here. Like, for this arc itself, we skipped the introduction of what the heck's his name? Of the dinosaur guy. We skip his introduction. Like, we totally skipped that guy's introduction. Hassleberry, I think his name was. Tyranno Hassleberry? I don't know. I can't remember his name. But yeah, we skipped his introduction. And I'm like, wait, what about him? Like, I mean, he introduced dinos. And he actually made dinos good for a set period of time. But we're perfectly okay with throwing in Chumley's duel about him going for an artist job. And this is like, and here I was in there like just trying to read it out and voice it and everything. Do like a Pegasus voice. Like, the white hole, as they called it, seems to be emitting light waves across the universe. But then, as I just kept reading, I was just like, oh, I can't. Okay, you know what? I'm done. Like, it's so much better to read. It felt like it's so much better to just see this in the actual anime than to read it out. And I still don't understand why, when you get about halfway through the VRAN's campaign, they just stop doing story. They just stop with the stories, and I'm like, why? Okay, so this duel. Incredibly stupid. Incredibly stupid. I mean, so as far as I understood Sartorius' deck, and from what I remember seeing and having to deal with at one point in my life, Arcana Force cards are incredibly trolly. They have incredible troll potential. But here, like, let me tell you. And also, we're gonna skip the fact that what's his face aged like 60 years. Ended up aging like 60 years because he got beaten in a duel. Aster Phoenix. We're gonna skip that fact. The thing is, like, you're about to see in this duel, you're gonna wonder what the heck was Sartorius thinking, like, or the Light of Destruction thinking. Like, he played. Let me tell you. Well, actually, you're about to see it, because I literally went, "What the heck are you thinking?" Like, you essentially killed yourself. And and I was at this point where I was like, okay, considering how this game has essentially, like, while they did build decks, a lot of them are complete garbage. I didn't want to take the chance and frustrate myself with dealing with the story deck again. So I just said, you know what? I'll play my own. I'm just going to play my own deck because I can't stand this. You know what? I can't stand it. Wait, I can't stand their story deck. I'm not gonna play with it. I'm gonna use mine. I can tell the big mistake because you're not gonna see much, if anything, from something. It was like, okay, bad luck. And then Okay. And then, okay. And again, why? Why? I mean, yeah, you have a defense, but dude, made no sense. Literally made no sense what he just did there. Yeah, it's like I had to search for that. I was like, where is that? And my Red Eyes deck still isn't like exactly complete, but it's better than. It's still good. I was just like, you know what, you're dead. So considering that Yu-Gi-Oh has essentially made, like, we're at the point that they've made a lot of anime only cards into actual cards. I wonder how long until they make, like, what was that card? Like, there was a bunch of cards that I saw. I remember there was that fairy tale werewolf. Well, that fairy tale wolf card or whatever, along with like the glass slipper. I remember in season 1 that just basically was like, yeah, you don't like. I remember seeing that. Like, when they're gonna make that into a card, and from what I remember in the GX series, which there's a lot of cards that from GX that haven't made it. Like, I just recently rewatched like season 1, which wasn't one. It was there was like this card called This Bowl, which I don't even know what the heck that does. I think it's like it allows him to draw a card. That like allows him to like send a card to his graveyard or something. Then I remember something like Big Vintage Magnum Money, which was like this giant dog with two huge bottles of wine, like just equipped to its back. I was like, oh my god, like, okay, like, why isn't this a card yet? And I think there was like one called, I think Flipping the Titan was actually a card. Or it's called something else. Yeah, okay, so we have, he finally got an Arcana Force out, but he can't use its effect. He can't use its effect. The only thing that he can do is have it on the field so that he has basically have it on the field so that I can't destroy it. So that I can't like directly damage it. Which it doesn't really matter anyway for this deck because I have things for that. I have things made for that. Oh yeah, this is another annoying thing I hate about this game. Like, when you have cards that you can activate, the game will start asking you. I've mentioned this many times, but like the game will just start at like the game like, hey, you want to activate this effect? Hey, you want to activate? Like, hey, your opponent did something. You want to activate this effect? Hey, you did something. You want to activate this effect now? You want to activate the effect? Do you? And it just won't stop. Now, you could turn it off, or you could just like hold down B, and the game will skip it. But at that same time, you don't want to skip it because you're like, okay, like there's a certain time I want to activate this card, and you get like you actually get to those points a lot, and it's just like, oh crap, no, I missed my timing. No, I can't activate it. No, and that ends up happening. Again, of course. He did not get to show it. He did not get to show its potential whatsoever. Which I wasn't sure because usually when I like take I activate the Red Eyes Fang with Chain, it says like it will take on the attack power of the monster that I guess it didn't. Either way, I win, and I was like, this duel sucked. I was like, this duel sucked. He's like, forgive me, it was my fault. Like, like, just go. You didn't even play your cards right. Just get out of here. Like, just go. I don't want to see you again. Like, please. And there was essentially one last duel before the arc ended. Like I forgot that Chaz did technically win the tournament because Jaden wasn't around. Jaden was off doing something else, so Jaden wasn't there. And again, as I was saying before, well, first off, I forgot that Blair was actually here. I can't remember if she appeared earlier in the series too. Earlier in GX as well, because I remember somebody playing some love cards and essentially that it was a silly duel that you couldn't get around that Jaden had to play. And that episode was part of a set of episodes that introduced the hero cards. Not just E-hero cards, but the H-E-R-O cards. Or, no, maybe no, it was like percentage support card that thing. And again, I wasn't going to take chances with whatever deck they built, so I was like, you know what, I'm going with Arm Dragon again, and I'm going to destroy it. So, this duel did not last long. I did make one slight mistake, but I still... I'm like, oh no, I did something I didn't want to do, but you know what, who cares, I win. So and I finally got to play Stamping Destruction in this game. I finally got to play Stamping Destruction in this game, which I was like, why couldn't I was like, God, it took forever for me to actually be able to play this. Because I either never drew it or I didn't have to. either never drew it or I just didn't have the conditions met. Which I needed dragons on the field for that to happen. Like, there are cards I do want to draw, and I thought about drawing Orange Dragon, and then I was like, dude, that's way freaking detailed. I don't want to sit there for hours trying to draw Orange Dragon. I mean, my thumbnail, it took me quite a bit to draw out Finley for the more Nick Wicked rules. So she threw out Messenger of Peace, and I was like, okay. I put that down, and then I was like, oh crap. And then I was like, oh crap, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. Actually, I made like, oh crap, I made a mistake. Now, and I was like, no, I don't want to. I should have, like, can I take my move back? So I just like, you know, whatever. I'll just play it anyway because I'm not dealing with no Messenger of Peace. Like, I'm not dealing with this crap. Yeah, she had a lockdown deck, and there was nothing. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. So at this point, it doesn't even matter what I play with. Like, I win. Die. That's still funny though. I never understood the meaning of standby phases up until like up until the console games came out. It was like, oh yeah, like so I never understood. Like, all I understood was like, oh, when I get Armed Dragon out, I can level it up. Like, I forgot that standby phase is like the first part of it. I should have. Oh God, that's a face. That's a face for Chaz. And now that I'm seeing the pictures, it just makes me think I should finish up those. I should finish up that bit of art. I just don't like. I just haven't found the time. I've been stressed out for the past few months. Anyway, well, there was gonna be a segment of me just drawing card packs. But you know what? Because there's no voice, well, because it didn't record my voice, screw it. I'm just going to call it here. We have another arc to run through before we get to King Jaden, which I'm interested in. I'll see you guys later. Bye.